So you're thinking about moving to Murrieta, California. Well, maybe you're looking for more space, a little more peace and quiet. Maybe you're coming from San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, or somewhere more expensive in Southern California, and Murrieta just keeps popping up as one of those places where you can still get that Southern California lifestyle without being right in the middle of the bigger city chaos. And honestly, I get it. Murrieta has a lot going for itself. You have access to Temecula, you're close to the wine country, you are not too far from San Diego and Los Angeles, or even Las Vegas. You are right here in the heart of Riverside County. And for a lot of people, it gives you that suburban, family-oriented, quieter lifestyle that you are looking for. But before you pack your boxes and make the move, there are some things you really need to understand first. Because Murrieta is not San Diego, it's not Orange County, and it's definitely not LA. And depending on your lifestyle, your commute, your budget, and what you're expecting day to day, Murrieta can either be a great fit or it can feel very different from what you thought you were moving into. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 9 things you need to know before moving to Murrieta, California, so you can decide if this area actually makes sense for you and your family. And if you're thinking about buying or selling anywhere around Murrieta, Temecula, Menifee, Winchester, Wildomar, Lake Elsinore, Hemet, San Diego, or the surrounding Southern California areas, my contact information is in the description below. You can call me, text me, or send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to help you figure out what area make the right fit for you and your family, and also establish a plan of action and timeline that fits your specific needs. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand about Murrieta is that a lot of people move here for the space and the lifestyle, which is understandable. Compared to some of the more expensive coastal markets in Southern California, Murrieta can feel like a place where your money stretches further. Now, that does not necessarily mean Murrieta is cheap. This is still Southern California, y'all. Home prices are still much higher than many parts of the country. However, when people are comparing Murrieta to places such as San Diego, Orange County, or parts of LA counties, they often start to see why Murrieta gets so much attention. You may be able to find larger homes, newer communities, more garage space, bigger lots in some areas, and more of that suburban neighborhood feel. For someone who is tired of crowded streets, older homes, tiny yards, or extremely high prices for homes that is closer to the coast area, then Murrieta can be very, very appealing. But you have to look at it the right way. Murrieta is not necessarily a bargain market anymore. It has grown, demand has increased, and a lot of people have already discovered it. So if you are moving here thinking you are going to find extremely cheap home just because it's inland, then that may not necessarily be realistic. But if you're comparing what you can get in Murrieta versus what you can get in many coastal Southern California and San Diego markets, then yes, it would definitely be a better value. Now, the second thing you need to know about Murrieta is that it has a very suburban feel. This is one of the biggest reasons people like it, but it is also something you need to be prepared for. Murrieta is not the place where you walk out of your front door and have a big downtown city lifestyle right in front of you. It's not a place where everything feels fast-paced, urban, and dense. For a lot of people, that's exactly the point. Murrieta feels more residential. You will see a lot of subdivisions, planned communities, shopping centers, schools, and parks. It's the kind of place where a lot of people are thinking about the quality of life, raising a family, having more space, and being close enough to other cities without necessarily living inside the busier areas. But if you're someone who wants that nightlife or something that feels like a big city, then Murrieta may feel too quiet for you. That's why I always tell people to think about their actual day-to-day lifestyle, not just about the house. Because you might love the home, the price, the space, and even the neighborhood. But if you're used to a completely different lifestyle, then it can take some adjusting. The third thing you need to know is that Temecula is a huge part of the lifestyle here in Murrieta. Even though this video is about Murrieta, you really can't talk about Murrieta without talking about Temecula. Murrieta and Temecula are right next to each other, and for a lot of people who live here in Murrieta, Temecula becomes part of their daily normal routine. You may go to Temecula for restaurants, shopping, for the wineries, for the different events, for Old Town Temecula, for entertainment, or just to meet up with families and friends. However, Temecula is one of the major reasons this area has become so attractive. You get the suburban lifestyle of Murrieta, but you're also close to Temecula's wine country, which is a well-known destination area that people already recognize. Now, that does not mean Murrieta and Temecula are exactly the same. They each have their own feel. Temecula tends to have a little more name recognition, especially because of the wineries and Old Town. Murrieta can feel a little more residential and quieter in many areas. But if you're moving here, you should really think of the two together. Your daily life may include both. You might live in Murrieta, shop in Temecula, go out to dinner in Temecula, visit wineries on the weekend, and still spend most of your regular home life in Murrieta. Now moving on to the fourth thing you need to know about Murrieta is the traffic. And commuting can be a very, very big deal. Now, before I retired from 30 years of service in the U.S. Navy, I commuted every day from Murrieta to San Diego for the past few years. Therefore, I have firsthand experience with driving through the traffic here in Murrieta. This is one of the things people need to be very honest about before moving here, which is the reason why I mentioned my own personal experience regarding the commute and traffic flow. Therefore, let me explain. A lot of people move to Murrieta because they want more home for the money, which is definitely one of the main reasons to move here, but they may still work in San Diego, Orange County, Los Angeles, Riverside, or some other part of Southern California. And depending on where you are going, that commute can be very serious. Murrieta may look close enough on the map to those destinations, but Southern California traffic can completely change how your day feels. If you work from home, have a flexible schedule, or work locally, then guess what? Living in Murrieta can feel much easier. But if you have to commute every day during peak traffic, you really need to do a test drive before you make a decision. Don't just look at the distance. Look at the actual drive time during the hours you would be on the road, because there is a big difference between saying, hey, I'm only about an hour or so from San Diego, and actually doing that drive back and forth several times a week in real traffic. This is one of those things that can make or break your experience living here. However, I take that time to decompress, to listen to podcasts, and to speak with family members and friends on the phone. And before I know it, guess what? I'm at my final destination, which is home or at work. So it actually does not feel like the drive is over an hour. So the fifth thing you need to know is that Murrieta is popular with people who want a quieter Southern California lifestyle. Not everyone moving to Southern California wants to be by the beach. Yeah, right. But trust me, you'll be surprised. Not everyone wants to be in the middle of the city. A lot of people want sunshine, access to things to do, decent space, a calmer and day-to-day environment. That's where Murrieta makes sense for a lot of people. You're inland, but you're still in Southern California. You can get to the mountains, to the desert, the coast, to Temecula wine country, San Diego, Palm Springs, and even Las Vegas and other surrounding cities, depending on how far you're willing to drive. So for people who want a home base that feels calmer, but still gives them that access to a lot of Southern California, then Murrieta can be a really strong option. But again, you have to be honest with yourself. If your dream is to walk to the beach every morning, then Murrieta is not that place. If your dream is to be in a dense city with endless nightlife, again, Murrieta is not that place either. But if your dream is a more relaxed suburban lifestyle with access to a lot of things within driving distance, that's where Murrieta starts to make the most sense. The sixth thing you need to know is that Hemet is often part of the conversation due to affordability. When people are looking around Murrieta and Temecula and they start comparing prices, Hemet often comes up. Now, Hemet is east of Murrieta and Temecula, and in many cases, buyers look at Hemet because they're trying to find more affordability compared to some of the surrounding cities. Now, Hemet has a different feel than Murrieta and Temecula, of course. It is not the exact same lifestyle. It may work really well for certain buyers, especially if the budget is a major factor, but it's important not to assume that Hemet, Murrieta, and Temecula are all interchangeable. They are different markets with different neighborhoods, different commute consideration, with different amenities, and different day-to-day experiences. So if you're moving to this part of Riverside County, it's not just about picking the cheapest house, it's also about understanding what your life would actually look like in each area. So for some people, Murrieta may be the better fit. For others, Temecula may make more sense. And for some buyers, Hemet may be worth considering because of the price difference. That's why it's very important and really helps to work work with someone who understands the difference between these areas. Because on paper, they might look close together, but in reality, they definitely feel very different. Now moving on to the seventh thing you need to know is that the weather is warm, dry, and very different from coastal Southern California. One thing people sometimes forget is that inland Southern California can feel much hotter than the coastal areas. Now if you're moving from San Diego, Orange County, or another coastal area, you need to understand that Murrieta is inland. That means summer can get hot you might be used to when living closer to the coast. Now a lot of people love the weather here. You get a lot of sunshine, mild winters, and plenty of days where you can be outside. But during the hotter months, you're going to feel that inland heat. This matters when you're looking at homes too. Now, you may want to pay close attention to things such as shade, energy efficiency, the age of the HVAC system, the solar system, insulation, window quality, and how the home handles the warmer months. Because the house may look great during the showing, but I also want to think about what it's going to feel like in July, August, September, or when the temperatures are very high. The eighth thing you need to know is that not every part of Murrieta feels the same. This is really important, y'all. A lot of people talk about Murrieta like it's one simple place, but when you actually start looking at homes, you will notice that different parts of the city can feel different. Now, some areas may feel newer, some may feel more established, some may be closer to Temecula, some may be better for certain commute routes, and some may give you easier access to places such as shopping centers, schools, parks, and even the freeway. And the right area really depends on what you care about the most. Therefore, you need to ask yourself, do you want to be closer to Temecula? Do you need to get on the freeway quickly? Do you want a quieter neighborhood? Do you want a larger home? Do you want a new construction? Or do you want to be closer to shopping and restaurants? And are you trying to compare Murrieta, Menifee, Winchester, Wildomar, Hemet, or Temecula? These are questions that matter the most because two homes can both say Murrieta on the listing, but the actual lifestyle around those homes may feel very different. So before you choose a home, make sure you fully understand the surrounding areas, the commute routes, the nearby amenities, and how that location fits your normal routine. The ninth thing you need to know is that Murrieta can be a great fit, but it may not be for everybody. This is probably the most important point. Murrieta is great for people who want a suburban lifestyle, more space, access to Temecula and other surrounding cities, a quieter pace, and a Southern California location that may offer more value than some of the coastal markets, but it may not be the right fit if you want to live right by the beach, if you hate driving, if you need a short commute to coastal job centers, or if you want a very urban lifestyle. That's why you really need to think through the full picture before moving here. Don't just ask, can I afford the house? Ask yourself these questions. Can I handle the commute? Do I like the lifestyle? Do I understand the heat? Do I want a suburban living? Do I want to be inland? Am I choosing Murrieta because it actually fits me or just because it looks better on paper? Because when you answer those questions, honestly, it becomes much easier to decide if Murrieta is the right move for you and your family. So if you're thinking about moving to Murrieta, Temecula, Winchester, Menifee, Hemet, Wildomar, San Diego, or any of the surrounding Southern California area, I'd be more than happy to help you compare your options. Every area has its pros and cons, and the right choice really depends on your budget, your lifestyle, your commute, and what you want your day-to-day life to look like. My contact information is in the description below. You can call me, text me, or send me an email, and we can talk through what you're looking for and which areas make the most sense for you and your family. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm making more videos about living in Murrieta and some of the surrounding cities in Southern California. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And remember, no excuses. Your keys is my mission. This is LG. God bless, and I'm out.